Hello everyone, and today, in Cleaning the Lit Box, Dr. Fluffy will answer to ask yourself, this is a vegan YouTuber, and let me distinguish between two things. You have veganism as a diet choice, and then you have veganism as a cult. And ask yourself is of course a member of the latter. A cult that is even more fanatic then SJWs, then the feminists, then even maybe Islam. And I'm not kidding you. We're going to check it out in a moment. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey guys, so this is a quick video, straight to the point. This is a call out to the entire skeptic anti-SJW community. Many of you have surely noticed the recent debates between the vegan community and high-profile anti-SJW YouTubers.
Yes, I have, and before I knew this community almost just attacked the fitness and health channels, now they're attacking everyone. It's like they're trying to stay relevant. Like most people now care about social justice and things like that, so let's attack that and try to infiltrate that to stay relevant.
This is likely the beginning of a schism within the skeptosphere, similar to the earlier schism caused by Atheism Plus, aka the invasion of social justice into the atheist/skeptic community.
Yes, and veganism is playing the part of the social justice feminism. And it will fail as hard as SJWs and feminists did.
And in just the same way, it will serve as a litmus test for intellectual honesty. Except in this case, the stupid people will be against the invading issue, not for it.
That is also what the SJWs claimed. That's also what they thought and still think to this day. And they were wrong, as you are wrong. Now let's take a look at that little graphic that you have behind you. Shall we? Because this is all about morality. I'm glad you are not even talking about the environment or health because you would get demolished. But let's just talk about the argument that you're trying to make. That is actually the weakest argument of them all. So, your argument for animal moral value. That, by the way, nobody says that animals don't have moral value. They just don't have the same as a human. But let's look at your points. P1, humans are of moral value. Yes, do you know why we are of moral value? Because we are the same species. Every species is naturally programmed to have more empathy to members of their own species. That is part of evolution. That's part of our biology. A dog values more a dog than, for example, it values a cat. The same thing for an elephant, same thing for a bunny. They all value the members of their species. Is how every species survives. There is no trait absent in animals which is, if absent in humans, would come us to deem ourselves valueless. Nobody takes the value of animals. Some animals, their value is to be food for us. Because they are our prey. Because we are omnivores, we are hunter-gatherers, so we eat prey. As we eat vegetables also, but prey is part of our diet. So some animals, their value to us is prey. Like some animals also look at us and see us as prey. And for example, a tiger looks at a zebra and values it as prey, as a food source. But for example, it looks at their babies and they value it, of course, as their offspring, as continuation of their species. And for example, look at a lion and value them as rivals. Different values. It doesn't mean that you're valueless. C. Therefore, without establishing the absence of such trait in animals, we contradict ourselves by deeming animals valueless. That's not the point. Again, we already explained that different animals have different value to us as a species. So your argument is retarded. So now, argument for veganism from animal moral value. P1. Animals are of moral value. Different moral values for different animals. So not all animals have the same moral value to us. And by the way, moral value is an individual to individual basis. Mostly, like in society, we agree through our empathy and through years of historical and biological influence, we value things in a different way. And morality is not just your opinion that you want to pass it to us. No, it's something that most people agree on. And guess what? When 97% of the people are not vegans, that actually shows that our empathy and our ability to moral things do not agree with. And that is not an appeal to popularity fallacy, because you guys love to throw fallacies there when they're not fallacies. You just don't like the arguments because you're losing the arguments, and then you call everything a fallacy. But it's not a fallacy, because it is the true test of time, of morality. Morality, normally something so innate in us that the majority of people would always agree on the basic moral thing. P2. There is no trait absent in animals which, if absent in humans, would cause us to consider anything short of non-exploitation to be an adequate expression to respect for human moral value. This actually doesn't even make any sense, because again, it's not about traits that are absent or present. It's about a food web. There's a food web. Different animals eat different animals. Some animals are just in our food web and we eat them. Learn how biology works. It's very simple, actually. You can be against how the farming industry is working right now, not against people eating meat. For example, if I hunt my own meat, can I eat my meat alone? If I only buy biological bred meat, can I eat my meat alone? For example, the tribes that hunt their prey, that have a lot less ecological impact than you do, can they eat their meat in peace? See how easily your false moral argument falls apart? The problem is the industry, not eating meat itself. I have a friend of mine whose father goes fishing every week, and he brings fish home, and they mostly eat what he fishes. Are they wrong for eating meat? The answer, by the way, is no. Of course it's not. But this is the conflation they try to do by appealing to your emotions, by doing these little trick things to make you think it's something that is not. And you're going to see that later on the video. So, last point he makes: therefore, without establishing the absence of such a trait in animals, we contradict ourselves by considering anything short of non-exploitation, veganism, to be an adequate expression of respect for animal moral value. You don't have to respect animal moral value to eat them, because they're prey, because they are part of our food web. So those animals' value for us as a species is food. Like, for example, another animal can look at us and see us as food, and we cannot judge that that animal was morally wrong for eating us. He was doing what he's supposed to do. That's his instinct. That is biology. And you cannot tell that biology is immoral.
So, it's possible these debates will fizzle out and veganism will need to gain more momentum as a social issue before they really ignite. But we will grow, and we will become increasingly a force that merits response.
No, you won't. There's more SJWs and feminists in the world than there are vegans. And that's saying a lot, because they're retarded. So how retarded do you have to be beaten by them? There's about, 3% of vegans in the world, more or less? It's ridiculous. It's nobody cares about you. The only reason these debates are happening is because you are a mob. You're a cult that is very aggressive and won't let go. You're very few of you, but you guys are everywhere trying to piss off everybody, and you are not letting go. And you're actually giving vegans that just want to do veganism as a diet a bad name.
I've been predicting for a while, see my earlier videos, that as veganism grows, we will see an explosion of public debates on the topic. I've participated in 2 of the 3 recent high-profile debates alongside Vegan Gains, Richard.
A sociopath that proves how veganism is really bad for your brain. By the way, that is something that has been proven by research, how veganism and the lack of nutrients affects your brain and causes you to be more susceptible to mental illness.
First was with roaming millennial, who deployed justifications such as emotional range and intelligence for massacring billions of animals. Obviously, we would not massacre humans with the emotional range or IQ of a cow, capable of solving basic problems, mobile, etc. So unless she would accept her own justifications when used to justify a holocaust of the retarded, she has no argument.
She wouldn't if she actually, the arguments would be compatible, but they are not, because you're not massacring animals. You're consuming them. You're eating them. It's part of the food chain. So it's completely different things. Killing people just to kill people is one thing. Killing an animal to eat is another. It's completely two different things, but again, you decide to ignore it because it will ruin your point. Because then you have to, again, compare another animal eating another animal and then us eating another animal that is part of our diet. So again, your Holocaust comparison is ridiculous, is pathetic, it is cringy. It actually completely deteriorates anything you can say after that. When you did that comparison, you already lost the argument.
The next debate was with the Warskis, and this one was just a bloodbath. They've purged their comment section multiple times since because the top comments keep coming up in our favor. Warski deployed justifications such as species, intelligence, social contract, I don't care, etc. for the animal holocaust.
Again, the animal holocaust. This is ridiculous. This is pathetic. Now, by the way, again, the comment section, I doubt it was like this purge. But what you normally get when you talk about veganism is fanatic people. I mean, Islamic level of fanatic people on the comment sections attacking people. Because there's nobody more fanatic than a vegan cultist. I've sent more than 200 articles showing how vegans were wrong. It doesn't matter. They will always come after you. They will always distort things. They are completely insane. And again, showing how the lack of nutrients affect the brain. And by the way, we all know that vegans are a little bit like SJWs and feminists in this way. They gather together and they mob people. They coordinate things. It's not just like people are popping up in the comment section. Like one guy appears in a comment section, immediately he calls other 3-4 guys to that comment section to protect him, and they keep coming because they keep calling people. They're not just naturally appearing and agreeing with you. We all know that you're coordinating all of this.
And of course rejected the exact same justifications in other contexts. He sure wouldn't want to be holocausted by aliens for having a lower IQ or being of a different species, and he doesn't support slavery or stoning women, so clearly he doesn't think the social contract in of itself is a justification.
Well, first point, are we in the food web of those aliens? Are they killing us to eat? Because if they are, it's our responsibility as prey to escape the predator. So it's not morally wrong for the predator to eat us and to try to eat us. You know how evolution works, how the food web works, how biology works? If we are on a lower level of the food chain, I'm sorry, it's our responsibility to survive. Guess you're probably weak ass would probably get eaten first, that's why you are not very comfortable with it. But moral construct, like the stoning women, and that's nothing about biology. There's nothing about biology that dictates that. There's a biological reason why we eat animals. Again, there's no comparison with rape, with stoning, with all those things that you mentioned are not equal comparisons. They are ridiculous comparisons that you do to trick people.
And he sure wouldn't accept someone saying, I don't care, as a justification for raping his mom. Warski actually went so far as to claim that logical consistency itself is retarded. Obviously, this would justify any immoral action. Now,
he didn't actually say that, but let's move on, because why don't you keep misrepresenting? This video became huge, so I had to cut it in 2 parts. This is it for this part. If you want to keep going and see the full response, don't forget to check out the second part of the video. I'll leave the link in the description right now, and it's probably be right there in the corner. See you guys next time. Stay